guys, today I want to talk about bronzer and what it can do to the overall look of your makeup. So let's get started. First, I want to talk a little bit about the tones in the makeup that I'm wearing so that after I apply the bronzer, I don't have any bronzer on right now, but I want to talk a little bit about the tones in my makeup so that after I apply the bronzer, you can see what I'm talking about and how, in terms of how it ties in with the rest of my makeup. So let's analyze the tones in my makeup a little bit. I have on warm toned eyeshadows, and just in case you're curious, I have on 3 eyeshadows by MAC today. I have on Grain as my highlight and inner corner color. I have Era on my lids. And I have Sable in the crease and outer corners. So Era is, no, let's start with Grain. It makes sense to start with the highlight color. Grain is sort of a peachy shade. Era is a beige. And Sable is a plum / light brown. But this overall, this is a warm tone look. Now I did put black eyeliner to sort of balance it out a little bit so it wouldn't be too warm. The black cools it down just a little bit. Then for my blush today, I have on a cool toned pink blush from the Urban Decay Naked on the Run palette. And then on my lips, I went what I would consider to be neutral. I have on LA Girl Glazed Lip Paint in the shade Blushing. And this is sort of a cross between plum and mauve, or it's in the plum and mauve berry family. This type of color to me is very neutral in the sense that it's warm, but it's cool at the same time. So the warmth and the coolness cancel each other out, and to me it's neutral. So this is a neutral lip. And my brows are gray, my hair is sort of a mixture of blonde and gray, but it's cool toned. So my brows and my hair are cool tone, my blush is cool tone, my lips are neutral, my eyes are warm. So this is what it looks like without bronzer. Okay, now I want to show you how if I put bronzer on, it will pull out the warmth of my eyes and balance the whole look. So let's see, what should I use for a bronzer? I'm gonna use the bronzer that's in this Urban Decay Naked on the Run palette. I like this bronzer a lot. It's a matte bronzer, so I can use it to contour if I want to, and then I can also use it as just an overall bronzer to warm up the look. That is something that you cannot do with a bronzer that has shimmer in it, such as a couple of popular bronzers that have the shimmer in them, like I'm talking about. The gold shimmer is Tarte Park Avenue Princess or NARS Laguna. Those are a little trickier to work with and are much easier to use if your skin is darker than mine. I feel like those kind of bronzers work best on people with medium toned skin, but the NARS Laguna I got before I knew the first thing about makeup or bronzers. I got that about, I don't know, 5 years ago probably. And then the Tarte Park Avenue Princess was part of a promotional giveaway thing that I had won from Tarte, this contest thing that they were having. So now that I know more about bronzers, I think for somebody like me, it's easier to work with matte bronzers. Another bronzer that I wanna just throw out there, if you're the type of person that has always been afraid of bronzers because you think they look too crazy, too dark on you, a really good bronzer for people with light skin is the Maybelline Fit Me bronzer in light bronze. This is awesome for people with really pale skin because it is not very pigmented, so you can build it and easy to work with. Another thing you can do if you want to sort of customize your bronzer, or if you like matte bronzers is what I meant to say, is I have the L'Oreal True Match powder, just regular pressed powder in C6 Soft Sable, and that is going to work like a bronzer. So yeah, if you like matte bronzers and you have a hard time finding one that suits you, look at the L'Oreal True Match powder line, and you know, then you can really customize it to cool, neutral, warm, whatever your skin is. So this is just C6. This is actually just a little bit dark to the point that I have to be kind of careful with it, so I probably should have went C5, but whatever. Another really nice matte bronzer is in the City Color Sun Kiss Trio face palette, and you know, this was really inexpensive and really good value for your money. It's got a nice cool toned pink blush. You've got your matte bronzer, which is, I'm gonna say, light to medium, and then you get this gold highlight shade, and that dark gold right there is just an overspray. Once you get past that, it's more of a easier, more matte type highlight that you can work with, just that nice gold shade that's a lot lighter than the actual overspray. Another bronzer that I like is the Neutrogena Healthy Skin Blends Natural Radiance Bronzer in Sunkissed. But this is a little bit deeper, so if you're a beginner, I would steer clear of this. But once you get used to working with bronzer, this is a really good one for people with light skin. But anyways, I'm gonna use that one from the Urban Decay palette. And for a brush, what should I use for a brush? I think I'm just going to use this MAC 129 brush. So here's the look without the bronzer, and I already went over all the tones and everything. And now I'm just going to dust a little bit of bronzer on my face. Let's do the contour. Okay, so let's put some down here just so I don't look crazy. So see the difference that made? It brought out the warmth in the eyeshadows. It made the lips look more warm toned than neutral, because before I started and had any bronzer on, I felt like this was a really neutral lip, and then just by adding bronzer, it brought out the warmth in the lips, made it more obvious that I had warm tone eyeshadows on. But the blush that I have on, that cool toned blush from the Naked on the Run palette by Urban Decay, it sort of balanced it a little bit. Because if you do warm tone everything, it's too much. I feel like you have to have a little bit of coolness, or at the very least some neutral products to balance it all out. Now, the exception to the rule is I find that when I'm doing cool tone products as an overall look, that seems to be alright if you just do all cool tone. But if you do all warm tone with no coolness at all, I feel like it's too much. But that completely changed the overall look of the tone, and it made it a little warmer. And I guess my point is, and the reason why I did this video, is a lot of people who have light cool tone skin feel like they cannot wear bronzer, and that's simply not true. I would say start with the Maybelline Fit Me Light Bronze, and then once you're comfortable using that, you'll be able to use any matte bronzer really. And you'll be able to go a little bit deeper, a little more pigmented. I still don't really care for bronzers with shimmer on me because of my cool tone skin. You've got the brown of the bronzer, and then you've got the gold shimmer, and it's too much. So I would say that those are the good old MAC 129 brush never fails. At least one or two brush hairs always come out of this when you use it. Now I remember why I stay away from that brush. But yeah, now I lost my train of thought. So anyways, yeah, bronzer can be used by anybody, no matter how pale you are. People with dark skin, I really like bronzer as a blush on people with dark skin, because you know, bronzer will just sort of get lost on your face and you won't really notice it so much. But I like bronzer as a blush on dark skinned people. So anyway, that's how you can change your overall look, the tone of it, just by using a little bit of bronzer. And I'll see you next time. Bye, you guys.